two great projects coming out in December, and each is so different from one another. As an actor, how do you decide what you want to be a part of, and what was it about Mary Good Enough that resonated with you?
Well, I've always been one to try to do something that's a little unpredictable, just to challenge myself as an actress and to grow and learn. So I actually received this random email from this guy named Dan Kennedy, and he said, "You probably don't remember me, but you auditioned for me at a callback at Ripley Greer Studios in New York City back in 2017."
Oh,
He said,
wow.
"We did not go with you. We went with a more character looking actress, but we regret it, and I never forgot your performance." I'm working on another indie film called Mary Good Enough, and there's a role in there that I think that you might really like if we can send you the script. And I was just so blown away. And I said, like, send me the script. I mean, it's just that he kept my email address. I'm glad I have the same email address. And I read the script and I just fell in love with it. And I fell in love with Carol Raleigh, my character. And Mary Good Enough is a dark comedy with heart.
Hmm.
And it's about a real family, with some dysfunction and mother-daughter struggles, but it also has a lot of humor and
Yeah.
a lot of love.
My favorite holiday films of the year. In addition to the work that you've done on screen, you've also written, produced, and directed. How have your experiences behind the camera impacted the way that you approach your work on screen and interpret characters and scripts like this one?
Right. Back in 2014 is when I formed Her Little Red Productions because I just kind of got tired of waiting for my agent to call, and I was aging out of this and aging out of that. And I wanted to do more character work anyway. So I formed Her Little Red Productions, didn't really know what I was doing, but I had friends that were doing the same thing. And I'm like, well, they don't have a degree from Tisch or, Southern Cal or whatever. So I just was at the point in my life where I wasn't afraid to fail. And
Mm,
I think that helped me um, from, I think, an auditioning point of view and a casting point of view, that it really is not personal against me. And, it's a business. And I think I don't know, I think I became more comfortable with the whole casting process and auditioning process because of doing it myself, from a production standpoint. So I think that has helped too. And I've tried to learn more about camera technique and
mm.
being more cinematic and that kind of thing too. So I still got a long way to go, but I love to learn and to grow and to work with great people.
There's such a fantastic chemistry that comes off the screen between you and the entire cast. And you really do believe that they're this dysfunctional family with their own baggage. But what family doesn't have that? How did you go about building that bond?
Dan Kennedy and Caroline Keene, who is the writer, they had me Zoom with Ray
Mm,
Levine Spielberg, who is our star, and she carries this movie brilliantly. She's so talented and so beautiful inside and out, and we just immediately hit it off. She's got two little children, a little boy and a little girl, which is what I raised, and we just, we immediately had a warmth and a chemistry that was very easy, and that helped a lot. And then Dan and Caroline, because it starts from the top. Their energy is so lovely and so chill and open that, you do feel like it's a collaboration, and you do
mm.
find yourself being able to relax. And I think when we can relax and be a little freer, that hopefully we can give the better performance. So
Yeah.
and then, the other cast members. I mean, Joel Murray from Mad Men, who plays my ex-husband, and Comfort Clinton from Billions plays my other daughter, and Daniel and Margaret Curry, and so many wonderful people that wanted to be there because it's not a big budget film. I mean, we didn't
Hmm.
have a lot of money. So everyone, the cast and the crew included, are people who wanted to be there because they love the story, they love the writing, they love the characters and this family, and it's relatable. We could all relate to it, and it was an absolutely wonderful experience, and I'm just so glad that everybody's going to finally get to see it, because if you love Christmas, you're going to love Mary Good Enough, and if you
Yeah.
hate Christmas, you're going to love Mary Good Enough. So there's a little something for everybody.
Yeah, Caroline co-directed and wrote this film. How different is that experience when the person who's helped create this universe and these characters is also at the helm um, as a co-director? What was that collaboration like?
Yeah, it was wonderful because I want to bring as much truth to Carol as I can, and I have the writer there, and the characters of the mother and the daughter Lucy, who is played by Ray, it was very close to Caroline's heart. So I wanted to get
Mm,
it as right as I possibly could. So having her there and being able to ask questions and her sharing her thoughts, it was wonderful. It's very helpful. So I really like that. And she and Dan Kennedy co-directed it together, and they're just a wonderful team. I mean, it was a real dream
yeah.
team. And then, of course, Sawyer Spielberg, Steven's son, is Ray Levine's real life husband, and also played her love interest in the movie. So it was fun to watch them like having to pretend like they're kissing for the first time. And they're just an adorable, lovely couple, crazy talented, both of them. So, it was a labor of love, and it was like a family energy. And it
Mhm.
was, one of those that you hated to leave and hated to pack that character away.
Yeah, that comes across on screen, and there's so much vulnerability when you're playing a character like this, especially towards the end of the film where there's a beautiful moment between Carol and her daughter Lucy. As an actor, how do you create the space for yourself to dive into that mindset and that scene in particular?
The writing it makes
Mm,
it possible, and I have found the better the writing, the easier it is for me to get into that character. But I love this character from the very beginning because she's a little a little dysfunctional, a little disheveled, and I just thought that it was it was just a joy to try to slip into her skin and to feel some of the emotions that she's feeling. I mean, at the end of the day, she wants her children to like her and to be happy and well adjusted. And she's had her own struggles, but at the end of the day, she really truly loves her children, and is a good person and is a strong
mhm.
person.
Yeah,
She's not a victim. So yeah, I think that the audiences are gonna really fall in love with the whole family.
100%. And you've touched upon this already, but you've worked on projects of all sizes. What is it about independent filmmaking that excites you as a creative and a storyteller?
I think, well, number one, I have the opportunity to play usually a larger role.
Mm,
And there's a freedom that I have found that it's a collaborative effort, and um, you can take more risks. I can take more risks because he's not like this huge amount of money, and you got to get in there and do it just right. And I think so. The liberties that we can take as an artist, and try different things, and the willingness, and just the time that you
mm.
have to be able to play a little bit more, um, is a big difference in the indie world.
Yeah, and like you're saying earlier, the film strikes a perfect balance between comedy and drama. How fun is it for you to get to play in all those different spaces? And I know the writing was so great, but how much of that was improvised versus scripted?
My role, I think most of it was scripted, and it's almost like when I play homeless Lynn in Cobra Kai, that sassy,
Mm.
filthy bum. She's delivering these hilarious one-liners to Johnny Lawrence, whose life
Yeah.
desperately needs a little humor, right? Because there's so much drama. But then, underneath that, there's got to be some pain underneath homeless Lynn. So I think for me, with this character, and with a lot of characters that I play, I like them to be multidimensional,
Hmm.
and to try to try to bring as much as I can to that particular character. And then having Caroline Keene there, I think helped a lot.
Perfect segue to my final question for you. Outside of Mary Good Enough, you've also been a part of Cobra Kai. And it was recently announced that the series is coming to an end on its own terms. When you look back at that experience, what will you remember the most?
Wow, probably getting into hair and makeup and costume, just a transformation into homeless Lynn. is amazing what the makeup and the hair and the costume department can
Mm,
do. And one of the first, I love to tell this story. One of the first times I was wrapped that I was on Cobra Kai, I put on my other clothes and I jumped in my car, and I had about a 3.5, 4 hour drive back to
mm.
Asheville, North Carolina from Atlanta. And then I all of a sudden it hit me. I looked in the mirror and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm still Lynn. I'm not going to be able to go into Starbucks and get a coffee, or they're not going to let me go into McDonald's to go to the bathroom. So from that point on, we had to figure out a plan of how to, clean me up well enough that I can not get arrested going into McDonald's or Starbucks or something. Um, so that, that's a great memory, but I'm here to tell you the fans have just been
Yeah.
absolutely wonderful. So many new fans and younger fans, Cobra Kai, but then you've got the loyal fans from the Karate Kid movies that we're waiting 30 years for
Mm.
something like Cobra Kai to come back. So they have been absolutely fantastic and so supportive of me and everything I do. And I love engaging with the fans. That has been a highlight for me and such a blessing to meet so many wonderful people.